Welcome to Subaru Ecu Flash Training Part 29. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at working with water meth injection in conjunction with our Carberry speed density based ROMs. Now, our water meth injection allows us to run a bit more timing, a bit more boost pressure. It has a cooling effect and an octane effect. It's something that we definitely want to take advantage of if we're spraying water meth into our engine. We have a couple different ways we can go about this. We can integrate it with an existing kit such as AEM or Aquamist. We can alternatively control a water meth kit, the pump itself and the actual components of the kit, directly from the ECU with the Carberry Rom. I'm going to go over both strategies within this training tutorial, making sure we're implementing fail-safe strategies and the general idea of how to tune and work with our water meth injection so we can make sure that our engine is going to be running safe and proper with whatever strategy you're going to be implementing on your vehicle. Without further wait, let's jump in so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at working with integrating water meth injection into our Carberry-based ROM files. Now, we'll find we have two alternate ways to deal with water meth injection. One way is to integrate it with an existing water meth injection kit, such as an AEM, Snow Performance, Aquamist, there's many others on the market. We're able to integrate a fail-safe output from that specific kit, that external kit, into the ECU to make a strategy so that when the meth injection, for whatever reason, stops spraying, that the ECU is going to know that, and it'll go in and take action and potentially detune the engine and won't have to worry about damaging the engine. The other alternative way to integrate a water meth injection kit is a bit more complicated. That's allowing the ECU itself, through one of our outputs from the ECU, to control a water meth injection pump so that we can vary the amount of duty cycle to the pump, to vary the amount of water meth injection that's sprayed into the engine. It gives us the ultimate in control. We don't need to purchase an entire kit. We only need to purchase essentially the water meth tank, an actual pump, some lines, and then there's some other details. There's a solid state relay that we need to purchase, and then we need to wire it into our ECUs. I've actually provided a schematic here for doing that, for the wiring itself, and we'll talk about how to integrate that within the ECU when we take a look at the more advanced meth injection method a little bit later in the video. But the beginning of this video, I want to talk about what water meth injection represents, what we can get away with in terms of tuning, because we have to tune it in a very specific manner. And then we're going to be talking about this very first basic example, integrating an existing water meth injection kit into our Carberry strategy here so that we can go ahead and essentially put the ECU into a limp mode so that we don't damage the engine, which is really important. So we can account for when the water meth, for whatever reason, faults out and it doesn't spray. Maybe we have a low level condition from the actual meth tank. We ran it dry. If we're getting into that situation, we could damage the engine if the ECU isn't going to be compensating for it and understanding what is going on. So what I want to do here is just talk about water meth first, and then we'll talk about the actual existing kits. We'll just go over a schematic of a kit and then talk about how we can integrate that within our control within our Carberry ROMs, and then we'll move on to the more complicated example. So when we're dealing with water meth injection, we're finding that we're spraying this water meth solution into the engine. That's going to be giving us a cooling effect by having the latent heat of evaporization of water and meth as it's spraying into the intake tract. It'll absorb a lot of the heat out, and it'll put a much cooler, denser charge coming into the engine. By controlling what the combustion temperature is going to be, we can run a bit more cylinder pressure. Basically, by bumping up boost or spark timing, we're able to offset and run a bit more cylinder pressure, which leads to more horsepower and torque production. So when we're spraying the water meth, we have a cooling effect that allows us to get more aggressive with our boost and our timing. Now, we also have an octane effect from the meth itself as it's spraying into the engine. So it's going to be raising our effective octane of our fuel. It'll be more like 105, 110 octane rather than 91 or 93 octane. So by having additional octane, that controls our combustion temperature and pressure a bit better, and we can increase boost and spark timing. So we have a two-part effect with water meth. We have lower air temperature, more dense charge entering the engine, and we have an increased octane effect. So both allow us to get more aggressive with our timing, more aggressive with our boost, because we can control our combustion temperature, and therefore we'll essentially go ahead with the additional spark timing and boost, having a bit higher cylinder pressure, which in turn leads to more horsepower and torque production out of the engine. Now, we have to go and offset the amount of fuel that we're spraying through the actual port fuel injectors that are mounted into the actual fuel rail spraying into the engine. Because we're spraying a water meth solution and that solution is combustible, we'll find that it takes a certain amount of space within the combustion chamber. As a result, if we spray the water meth and we don't reduce some pulse width through the port injectors, through some of the programming here in our Carberry ROMs, we're going to find the engine's going to run rich. The air-fuel mixture, the target isn't going to be 11.0, 11.2, maybe at high RPM. It's actually going to be going in. The target's not going to change, but the air-fuel will go to something like 10.0 or 9.5 air-fuel. If it gets that rich, that is going to affect the power delivery of our engine. It's going to mitigate the effects of working with the actual water meth solution. So running that rich won't matter if we increase our cylinder pressure a little bit. Having that rich mixture will actually offset any kind of power production of the engine. So we want to make sure that we're reducing the pulse width down in a proper manner when we're spraying the water meth solution and taking advantage of additional boost and additional spark timing. So we have to keep this in mind as we're calibrating. So the first example we're going to be taking a look at here is integrating an existing...
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.